on the left.
What's that first word?
Orient.
Orient yourself. Generate questions and ideas.
Yep, so that was kind of what we're doing. So we're going to build on that today. So just like Lily told us, Caden, what's going to be our focus today then?
Notice fascinating parts and hold them.
Yeah, just like our ICANN statement said, you're going to get in your book clubs today. And so one of your jobs is going to be to decide how much you're going to read, and you're going to prepare for your reading group. So yes, we're going to use notice and note. Yes, we're going to use just whatever comes to your mind. But before you decide to talk about something, I want you to ask yourself the question of so what? Why is this thing jumping out at me? Why is this fascinating? So what? Why is this important to talk to my book club group members about? Okay, so that's going to be our focus. So what I want you to do, just to kind of get our brains going, is I want you to think, so talk to your partner, you should be sitting next to your partner, talk to your partner about what you already know about book clubs in here or just in general. Go. Talk to your partner. Go. Karma, go sit by your partner. You have to sit by your partner.
That's not a book club. I hope you get the tiniest.
Okay. Good.
That one page is just someone's phone read this book and there was experiment that like a typo like they were like how that
Okay, 3. Voices off. 2. Eyes on me. Turn facing this way. 1. And 1. Okay, Steven, tell me one thing that you guys talked about.
It's kind of important to have a group so you can actually discuss and so you can like if someone says something you can like add on to that and maybe they can get a better understanding of it.
Okay, so I'm hearing discussion is important. I'm hearing don't read ahead was important. What else did you guys say was important?
It's important to like be active like students so you can learn.
Better understand it. Would you guys, you'll talk about Connie?
Every page you read, you have to write down notes.
So you should be taking notes, right? Some fascinating, significant parts, orient yourself, right? And then write down so what? Why is that important? Kaden, please sit correctly. And then tell me something that you guys discussed. You can ask your neighbors because you talked about it. Logan, what did you guys talk about?
How basically it's where you just read a book and discuss about it.
Yeah, right? And so, like, I want to share with you, so, like, I'm in book clubs for school. Like, after school on Thursdays, I meet with, like, Mr. Dickinson, Mrs. Johnson, and some 6th grade, and Dr. Kurt is in our group. And we are reading a book about helping kids understand text better, so it fits right in with what we're doing. And so one of the things that we always have to do is we, like, highlight our text. And you guys know that I love to highlight, right? And, like, write notes. And so we bring up these ideas, and we like to ask a lot of questions. Like, what did you guys think about this? Or I thought this was really powerful. And so that's what I know about book clubs. And so, right, it's really important to think about the way you talk. It shouldn't just be surface level, right? It shouldn't just be, like, retelling what happened or summarizing. You want to try and, like, really get to the meat of what the story is trying to tell us. And so we're going to do that together. So I want you to think of, like, this discussion, our mini lessons, with Fast Food Nation is kind of like a big group book club. Okay, you're going to get your smaller group book clubs, but this is going to be one that we do together and that we discuss together. And so that's what I want you to really be thinking about. And so today I want to teach you, like, that this, like, the quality of your book club talk has everything to do with what you bring, right? And that means, like, your notes, your brain, like, your mindset. And so I want you to be thinking about that as we go through this, and then today when you get into your book clubs, because you're going to get a little, not very much, you're going to get a little bit of time today with your book clubs, okay? And so it's easy to have just, like, plain, boring, like, so-so conversations in your book clubs. I know you can all do it, right? You can talk about a book, but let's extend that thinking. Let's be better readers, okay? And so you almost need to have, like, a book club conversation in mind as you prepare as you come, and we've said that before in our book clubs. So today, we're going to read in Fast Food Nation, and we're going to get started. It's going to be about McDonald's. How many of you have eaten at McDonald's? Raise your hand. Before, in general. No comments. Right? It might be gross, but we've all eaten there, right? And so I want you to push yourself to notice the fascinating part, something that's like, oh my gosh, that's going to lead us to really rich conversation. So I want you to be listening. So this text starts when the McDonald's brothers have just one burger bar restaurant, and it's already making them rich. They just have one restaurant, and they're already like reeling in that dough. Okay, they own a kind of restaurant called a drive-in, where customers park outside and servers brought food to their cars, kind of like Sonic, if you guys can think, if you know what Sonic is. Okay, the restaurant, where customers parked outside and servers brought food to their cars. So those servers were called car hops. And so I'm going to show you a picture of that here in a little bit. So I'm going to start reading this, and I want you just to be hyper-focused and listening for a spot that you think is super important. So please sit up, make sure that you can see. By the end of the 1940s, the McDonald's brothers had grown dissatisfied with the drive-in business. So they were tired of constantly looking for new car hops and short-order cooks, who were in great demand, as the old ones left for higher-paying jobs elsewhere. They were tired of replacing the dishes, glassware, and silverware their teenage customers constantly broke or ripped off. And they were tired of their teenage customers. The brothers thought about selling the restaurant. Instead, they tried something new. The McDonald's fired all of their car hops in 1948, closed their restaurant, installed larger grills, and reopened 3 months later with a radically new method of preparing food. It was designed to increase the speed, lower prices, and raise the volume of sales. The brothers eliminated about 2/3 of the items on their old menu. They got rid of everything that had to be eaten with a knife, spoon, or fork. The only sandwiches now sold were hamburgers and cheeseburgers. The brothers got rid of their dishes and glassware, replacing them with paper cups, paper bags, and paper plates. They divided the food preparation into separate tasks performed by different workers. To fill a typical order, one person grilled the hamburger, another dressed or wrapped it, another prepared the milkshake, another made the fries, and another worked the counter. For the first time, the guiding principles of a factory assembly line were now applied to a commercial kitchen. The new division of labor meant that a worker only had to be taught how to perform one task. Skilled and expensive short-order cooks were no longer necessary. All the burgers were sold with the same condiments: ketchup, onion, mustards, and 2 pickles. No substitutions were allowed. The McDonald's brothers' speedy service system revolutionized the restaurant business. An ad of theirs seeking franchises later spelled out the benefits of the system. Imagine, no car hops, no waitresses, no dishwashers, no busboys. The McDonald's system is self-service. Right? And so it would be easy just to go through and say, okay, this, and this, just name some of the facts. But we aren't going to do that. Okay? Instead, let's look for fascinating parts we think would lead to great talk. And then we're going to mull them over. Does everybody know what mull over means? Does anybody have an idea what that means? Well, kind of. What happens if you mull something over in your mind? You think about it. Yep, you just kind of think about it for a minute, right? And let's prepare for our conversation. So I'm going to give you just 30 seconds. I want you to think about something that fascinated you or surprised you. And I want you just to think about it for a second, okay? Before you talk to your neighbor. So 30 seconds, go. Just think. No, don't talk. Just think. Mull it over in your mind. Out one thing that you might be surprised by or fascinated by. Okay, I'm going to watch me do it first, and then you're going to share. So the thing that I thought, I just kind of looked through the text, the thing that I thought was the most interesting was the line where it says they got rid of everything that had to be eaten with a knife or spoon or a fork. That part jumped out to me, and I think that would be really good for conversation. And so as I started to mull it over, I was thinking to myself, so what? Why is this something that's important, right? And yes, it told us that it revolutionized, but right, I'm also thinking why was this not done before, right? Why was in 1948 is the first time where else did they use kind of this plastic silverware? Was this did they invent plastic silverware, or was it already around for them to buy and use, right? And then why else might they have chose, right? They said that people were ripping them off, but is there another reason? So I'm trying to just extend my thinking, right? Or could it be because they wanted people to be able to eat on the go, right? Instead of pulling in and having to sit and eat and then return the silverware. Today, I don't know about you guys, but whenever I'm traveling, I might stop at a fast food restaurant and then eat it in the car as I'm going, so I don't have to take a lot of time. So I'm thinking, could that have been their forward thinking, where they wanted people to be able to just grab and go? So I don't know. too, right? So what I want you to do is I want you to turn and talk. What is something that you found interesting or expand on my thinking? I want to listen to you guys. Okay, go. What's our time on that?
10 minutes.
10 minutes. Can you pause it for a second? We chose like these fascinating parts, and we really want to continue to extend our thinking. And that's why it's so important to give yourself a minute and really think. Okay, don't just say the first thing that pops into your head. Really think about it first. And so now I think that we're getting prepared for this like more significant conversation. And so when we go back into book clubs, I want you to be thinking about that. So you're going to get assigned your book clubs today, and you guys are going to decide, and that's going to be your new assigned seats. Okay, you're most likely going to be with, I think only one or two of you kind of got separated from a partner, and that's okay. Then when it comes time for like our independent writing or informative writing stuff, I want you to get with that partner. And so I want to see if you can grow that thinking. So you're going to read today, and you're going to take notes, and we're going to talk about that really quickly. And really want to extend that conversation. Okay? Anybody have any questions right now? Okay, make sure you're using the anchor chart to really help you guide your thinking. I want you to head back to your seats right now, and then you're going to get in book clubs. Go. Hey, we looked at it yesterday. It's all this? Okay, thank you.